What makes relationships last?
Our relationship has had its ups and downs, but what we've found is good communication holds everything together.
We decided to dedicate time every week to not only strengthen our relationship, but stimulate personal growth.
Strong relationships are built on strong communication.
Welcome to Date Night Conversations.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Date Night Conversations. I'm Chantel.
And I'm Greg.
And in this video, guys, Greg and I are going to discuss 3 questions we have never asked each other before.
And every time I look forward to these questions.
Yep.
I love the direction it just makes you think.
Yes. And guys, what is life without being able to get your brain stimulated and think on a different level that you've never thought before?
Exactly.
I think it's pretty cool that this game has the ability to do that for us. It's interesting. All right. You ready to get into it?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking about the questions and how they just make you think deeper. And how it takes you somewhere else, makes you think in a way you just haven't before.
I love that. All right. Let's get into it. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Let's do it.
All right. I got first question.
Okay. Yes. First, you are up.
You ready?
Yes, I'm born ready.
If you could be famous, what would you want to be famous for?
For what I'm doing right now. I am famous. You guys know me. It'd be for exactly what I'm doing. What am I doing? Well, since it's asking me, I'm a YouTuber, and my goal in life is to inspire people and to show them my journey into becoming a successful entrepreneur, where in the future I have multiple business streams and I'm able to share that with other women who are motivated to do the same and are looking to diversify their skill set and how they earn income. I think that's what I want to be known for. And you're watching me. Yeah, you're kind of watching me do that by watching our videos. Started with this.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat. It's living life for a living and showing people what's possible.
Yeah.
Because the idea is to, at least from my perspective, is to have fun and enjoy every moment.
Yeah.
And if you can do that and earn a living doing that,
that's the best.
That's the dream, right? So, wouldn't you want to be famous for that?
Yeah.
Would you help other people live their best lives?
Yeah.
And so bringing in my health and fitness background is the same thing. I'd like to share more of that, but help people live their best lives.
I just want to be a positive light. That's all. Just a positive light of energy that makes people feel good, feel motivated, and inspired. Because when you feel that way, the best things are about to happen. Like, you just feel so good and you want more of that. And I feel like I just want to be that energy that helps that.
You are that energy.
Thank you. So are you. All right, guys, we're going to turn the question over to you. But first, let me read it one more time. If you could be famous, what would you want to be famous for? All right, guys, you know what to do. Drop a comment down below. All right.
Yeah, I'm sure there's people who wouldn't want to be famous.
Yeah, there's people that come here and they're quiet and they leave this world quiet. Like, that's fine too.
And they're content.
They're like, I'm good. And that's okay. Like I always say this, anyone you can think of exists. So there's a variety of people.
The type of person you could think of.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I respect everybody.
There's billions of people out there. There's going to be one like that out there.
Yeah. And that's okay. All right, guys. You ready for question 2?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm excited. I got question 2. When did you realize you were in love with me?
Aw, that's a good question.
I can't do this on camera.
Whatever.
I know, right? Tell me when you first
I'm
loved me.
trying to... Oh my... It was May...
I was like, I was listening. My ear was turned up. I was like, I want to hear this. And you know I do.
Our 9 years coming up.
We've been together for 9 years.
9 years.
It's crazy. And yes, we are gonna get married. I have a friend, Marva, and Marva Grimes. She's checking on us. So
she's spunky.
Yeah, she is. She's wonderful. Hi, Marva.
When did you realize you were in love with me? It starts to come where you just say I love you and it just comes out.
When did you realize you love me?
Like, it keeps growing. So the love I had for you 2 months in is not the love I have for you now.
When did you say it? Exactly. Okay, stop getting all philosophical.
Because I kind of remember a time when there's a click where you're like, I love you.
When was that time?
There's a part that feels, and I feel like we were in your room.
What were we doing in there?
We weren't doing that.
You made me laugh. Oh my gosh.
I feel like I picture like an outfit and everything, and I don't know, but that's what
was the outfit?
Creates.
Well, say it.
You were wearing like these jeans that you wear, and you had that leather belt on, the one that's like braided.
Oh my gosh.
Do you remember that though?
Yes.
And then you had like a brown top. It was like almost like this kind of color.
Yeah.
I pictured that.
Oh my gosh, we were babies then when I wore that stuff.
And we were just like laid down on the bed, like fully clothed, and it was just like a moment. That's what I have in my head.
And that's when it was, babe. Because
see?
Because he's going all philosophical, trying to weave his way around the answer about love is growing. The question asks you when. We know it's growing. They know it's growing. Anyways, guys, yes.
Do you know what day that was?
Okay, let me think. If I can think, I'll tell you. And we'll pull up the picture. I know exactly which one.
Wow.
What color was the brown top? Because I have two.
Did you have a sweater that was like just sat right here?
Yeah.
Two?
Yeah, I had a t-shirt type that flared out that's like this texture. And then I had like a sweater type material. Like not sweater type, but it was a more knitted, I should say. Is it the knitted one?
I think it was the knitted one.
The knitted one. That was around about, that was the fall of November 2012. And we'll check my photos because I have the dates on it.
But it could have been earlier if it was the looser, like the lighter one?
If it's the lighter one, it's looser. That was when we first got together in the summers about, it was between June and August. We took that one. So one was summer and one was later on in the winter. If it was winter, I was starting to wear the knitted one. So fall, winter.
I just remember the color, but I know, and the fit. Like, the knitted one, I think, but okay.
Yeah, because I have a heavier knitted one that I'd wear.
Anyway, that's the image in my mind
and a
when
lighter
that question
one
is
in
asked.
between, actually. Okay, so basically, guys, let me answer for Gregory here. It was just about 4 to 6 months after we were together. Like, we started dating for that period, and then we're like, yeah. When did I realize I was in love with you?
What was I wearing?
I always loved Gregory. Gregory's such a sweet boy. You're so sweet. When did I realize I love you? Oh my gosh. Okay. It was one time when I came to the gym. No.
Oh, I remember that time. I know the time that you were talking about.
Yeah, that was one time. But it became just a little bit before that because I was so anxious to see you.
Really?
Yeah.
That prompted early.
That. It wasn't too early. Yeah, it was early. It was within a month.
In the summer of the year we met.
Yeah. I'm going to say when I realized I was in love with Greg was when we were able to just hang out together on our own. Like, we're just always together. And is there a particular time where I'm like, man, I just love him? I do it all the time, so it's so hard to pinpoint it.
See? And it changes as you grow because you're like, man, I love this person. And then later you're like, wow, I love this person. And then later something else happens, like, wow, I love, you keep getting that feeling. At least that's what happens for me. That there's still moments where you're just like lying there, and then there's just this like rush, like there's this just being so close to you, and you just get that, you like share a vibe. And
that's what it is.
You know what I mean?
Like we vibe, like literally vibe, guys. Like we vibe.
And you can like feel
together.
it.
Yeah, we do feel it.
So when you say it, like, babe, I really love you, and you can feel it. Like,
I'll tell you when.
So when did you say that first? Do you remember?
No, it's probably when I started saying it in my sleep. Sometimes he catch me saying it in my sleep.
Oh, he does. That's the best, because that you can just feel that so much.
And I'll tell him I did say it. I'm like,
wait, because so true.
Look, I did say it.
I love when you tell me you love me like that. I didn't say I love you.
Yeah.
When did I say it?
Oh man, we're fun.
So wait, yeah, have you said it when you're tired?
It might be, the one time it might be when I was the one time I looked at you and I'm like, oh, he's so beautiful. We're at Safari one time.
Oh man.
And that was an early stage.
That was early.
And I'm like, let's go home. And your little eyes like, what's home? Poor thing was
Where's
going
home?
through poor thing was going through a rough time. But poor thing. But I think it was early on. It was really early on. Guys, I told you, you can just feel Greg. Like Greg just has this warm, cuddling energy.
Yeah, but that's you too.
Me?
Yeah.
Do I feel that way?
Yeah, you do. Everybody knows that.
More like upbeat, like.
No, there's still that, like, vibe.
Okay.
And then when someone has that conversation with you, they're like, oh, they're like, wow, I know what people are talking about.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why everybody wants to talk to you all the time. That's why you get interrupted at the gym. They just want to hear a few words from you. You can make them feel good.
Are you sure? Because sometimes I'm like, I hope I'm not annoying. Like, I know we're annoying, but I'm like, I just hope, like, whatever. Maybe I overthink
because
things.
you're not tracking people down. They come to you.
I track you down.
And then you're like, oh my gosh, you look so good. Wow, what do you even do? And you make people feel good about themselves.
Well, why isn't everybody talking to people that way?
Shouldn't they?
Yes.
They don't.
Why don't you?
When you get that from me, it boosts you 10 times higher.
Oh, so they need to gain that?
No, it's like, there's a level where I feel like people should just be doing that anyway. But when you're going above and beyond in any aspect, like I can really appreciate that, and I'll let people know. And
okay.
I've heard them, yo, Greg said this. Like, it means something. Like, people genuinely and they'll even tell me, like, I really appreciate you saying that.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
And it's just a level with who you are. Like, that's just, at that point of the game, that's when you'll say it. Like, it's just different. Where I notice everything.
Yeah,
you don't.
Okay.
Like, we're just different. Okay.
Yeah, we have different ways of interacting with people.
Yes.
But oh my gosh, this is going in another direction. But the way you're describing me and the way people take to me once we have those conversations and they get to know me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Greg is like this.
Yeah.
You have your own vibe like that also.
Okay, I hope so. I hope it's all positive and it's like all good and comforting, just like you say to people.
I think it really is.
Okay.
But I'm going to read the question.
Are we throwing it back to them?
Yeah.
All right, guys. We're throwing the question to you. Here's the question one more time.
When did you realize you were in love with me?
So if you want to drop a comment letting us know when you first realized you were in love with your significant other, partner, whomever, that would be great. You guys know what to do. Drop a comment down below. All right, guys. We are moving on to the final question.
All right. Last question.
Last question.
Where do you need to be thinking bigger?
I feel like we always get these type of questions ever so often with this little game here.
Like something related to this?
Something related. And usually we're on track. We know what our weaknesses are and we really try to work on it.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's usually the same thing. Same thing. So
it keeps coming up. The more we're asking these questions, the more
yes.
we think about those things.
Mm-hmm.
And you even thinking back, like you'll have different responses to a similar question.
Yeah.
Where do you need to be thinking bigger?
For me, it's just thinking bigger than having my doubts. So just always, like, I am so getting into the mindset now that this is who I am, this is what I do, and this is where I want to be. And knowing that all of that is no doubt. That's where I find I need to be thinking bigger, because I think I said it in another video or so, that just being human, we tend, when we're having a bad day or something doesn't go the way we planned, we start thinking negatively. It's just an automation. And to understand now, when something doesn't go the way I planned, I look at it as temporary defeat, and it's a challenge. Like, I'm like, no. This is not a failure. This is not I stop here. This is, how are we gonna hurdle this? Like, we're hurdling it, we're going over it because we are gonna do it. And that's where I find I just started doing, but I wasn't thinking bigger than I was now, because I used to get into a mood and I'm just like, and question myself.
Okay, because mine goes along the same way.
Oh, does it? Okay, cool. So I'll stop talking. Sorry, but that was I just wanted you to get the whole.
It's like, where could you be thinking bigger?
Yeah.
I think because we're always feeding off of each other. We're always pushing each other to bigger. Because think about this. No, think about this. Catch. If I say something, you're like, no, and redirect. And if you're saying something, I'll do the same. Like, hey, wait, look at this. Think about this. And what happens is it keeps you going in terms of thinking bigger in different aspects. Yeah. Like, because you're always, there's not a goal, there's not a finish line. There's a steady progression, and to keep going in that direction. And then just sort of like milestones met, and keep moving forward. Right. Because growth is half the fun. Like, that's gaining those experiences in life. Yeah. And it's almost like next level, and just keep going. And there's not a spot where I'm looking to get there and
stop there.
Yeah. There'll always be some aspect opening up. Yeah. And I think where we are, we're keeping that same mindset. Right. And it's just watching doors open, and if something comes in, it's like, that's not going to work. That's never the stop. Like, okay, so we, just like you're saying, what's the workaround? I'm looking at it more like, it's not like an obstacle. You said it's a temporary failure. I don't like using that word.
It's temporary defeat.
Temporary defeat, yeah, because it's not that at all. But I can totally understand how one person can be like, it's not going to work. Yeah. And get so frustrated because it's like, so just like we literally had this conversation, like a business call yesterday, where it almost felt like that. That's why I brought that up. We're not getting anywhere. We're not getting anywhere. We're not getting anywhere. And it was never this isn't going to happen. The conversation was more like, the right thing is going to come at the right time. Yeah. Person comes up, conversation happens, and it's just reroutes the direction, and it just keeps going in the same like in the right direction. It's just sort of doing workarounds. Yeah. And that's what happens. I totally agree. I really do. And I like to term it temporary defeat, because that's sometimes what it feels like. So you feel like people get to that point, it's like, man, I really just feel like I'm not getting anywhere. You slingshot though. Me? Yeah. If it's something like that, I think it just propels you, because you just you take it like a little bit of a frustration and a down moment, and that down moment is just, you're going to spring out of it like every time. Yeah. Yeah, I think I do that, but I'm trying to think bigger by focusing, meditating, focusing on exactly what I want. I've developed a routine, something that I'm doing as habit, to keep that automation in my head that this is all I think about, that what I want is an obsession. And I want to think bigger when I'm starting to have a doubtful moment. And I'll only call them moments, because sometimes that's what it is. And if my time of the month is coming, it becomes a few of those moments. But I'm trying these practices that get me out of that. When you can appreciate that, you can like kind of look at the calendar like, oh yeah, I know I'm going to get past this. It's just what. My ladies out there, I'm telling you, I go through these moments where I'm just so miserable. Like, I'm like, why am I not where I want to be? Like, what's going on? Why does this look like this? Like, I get negative and I get really hard on myself. And when I look, I'm like, man, my period's coming. And it's crazy how hormones... You don't even have to look. Hormones take over me like that. It's crazy, and I don't like it. there's definitely a shift, and I almost can go like, oh, here we go. But you've got more comfortable with me just saying like, listen, is it possible it's hormonal? And you can be like, and you know it is, but you'll take the break.
Yeah. Well, but
you'll be a little more accepting, because I'm like, Sean, it's not like you. You just like, you get a little more. Anyways, that's those, like you said, moments where you might fall into an area where you'd like to be thinking bigger, so that doesn't happen.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, guys. We are now going to turn the question over to you, but we'll read it one more time. Where do you need to be thinking bigger?
Where do you need to be thinking bigger?
Yes. All right, guys. You know what to do. Drop a comment down below. That was the third question.
That's it.
That is it. Was it a good one? Did you like the question?
Those are pretty good.
You like them?
Like, we had decent talks that
so.
brought us off topic.
And that's just what happens. That means they're working.
They get us talking about things. Exactly.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, those are good ones.
Those are good ones. So I'm really interested to know what some people have to say to these questions, to answer these questions.
Absolutely, guys. We love the interaction. We try and read every single comment. Please comment down below. Let us know your responses to some of these questions.
Yes. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.